welcome.
I don't know why I stuck my tongue out. It was really weird. I'm sorry.
Because we have to make faces. What else have we got to do?
What face can I make?
Thug face.
Dude, the last time I made thug face where like I stick my chin out, I brought my chin back in and my jaw didn't open and I clacked my front teeth together and chipped a tooth.
Are you serious? You chipped a tooth on thug face?
On thug face, yeah. I'm like super scared to make thug face now.
Thug face is dangerous.
That's right. These are the dangers of our life.
That's right.
I chipped my tooth making faces at my wife in the kitchen. Be warned. Hey everybody.
Hello, welcome back to Survival Coloring. This is day, let me see if I can get it right today, 15. Yesterday I made some random symbol that totally didn't match 14. I hope nobody caught it.
I think it was 3.
I think it was 3. I think I just said day 14.
Yeah.
Random gang sign.
Yes. That's right.
I'm Lisa Mitrokin. In case you don't know, this is my lovely assistant, Tech Support, who is in charge of all things technical
Technology.
on the show.
All things technology.
All things technology.
Technology.
That's-
The word knowledge is in there.
That's right.
Smart.
Knowledgeable.
Technology.
And today is a very special day. Every day here is a special day, but every day for a different reason. Oh my God, what a great face.
Well, my dad's asking me to make the grandpa snazzy face, like I know what that is.
I want to see that.
Oh.
The faces, he gets it from his dad. His dad is in the chat.
Okay, wait, hang on. I got
His dad is to blame.
I got a face for you, Dad. This is gonna make you laugh, and you're gonna know exactly who this is. You ready? You ready? There you go. That's for you.
He knows this.
He absolutely knows it. He's gonna tell who it is in the chat, and everybody else just thinks I'm crazy. There's a little embellishment there. What?
Just twirling my hair. So why is today so special?
Oh, look, there I am making the face.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I didn't even see it from that angle. Today is special for 2 reasons. The 3 reasons today is special. First, we're starting a new topic in the coloring segment of this. We're starting a new page. We're getting into crystals.
Is that sign language for coloring?
That's right. This is coloring. It can also be chicken feet. We're a little goofy tonight, so it's going to be that kind of a show. Crystals. There's a brand new page for you guys. Anyone who is a member of my Facebook group, Tom, link in the description. The page is a free gift in an album with a super friendly name that I can never remember, like Stress-Free Coloring or something. It's really obvious, and all the new pages always have the comments on them, so they're on top of the thread. You'll see it right away. So if you don't have it already, grab the crystals page, and we'll be working with it for probably the rest of next week because there's a lot to cover. So today I will just start with some basic highlights on it, and then once I start coloring, we have a guest that we need to call. We have a very special guest today. It's his first time on our show, Matthew.
It might be his first time on any show.
It might be his first time on any show. Oh, that's exciting.
I don't know.
We love having guests.
I'm putting words in not in his mouth, but in his ear, in his phone. I don't know.
Well,
I'm making stuff up.
we will introduce him right before we call him, correct? Or
Maybe.
should we? Oh, we won't even introduce him.
Maybe.
All right, let's get them started on the coloring so that we can stop torturing Matthew because he's probably dying of anticipation. So will you please switch me to the crystals page?
Oh, the thing didn't do what it was supposed to do, man. I had you already switched to the crystals page.
I thought you might have. You had the face of someone who had me switch to the
Yeah,
crystals
I was like,
page.
no, you're already on the crystals page.
I
But
know,
then-
you're just
but then,
like...
I'm like super cool, but then technology.
So
Okay.
this is technicology?
Tech stupidity.
Speaking of which, if YouTube is being special again tonight, or we get disconnected or something very strange like that, or if clicking the like button will get you kicked out of the stream, we apologize on behalf of YouTube. That is something that we have no control over. There are a lot of glitches in YouTube land these days, and we're all just dealing with them as they come. So if we do get disconnected, which happens to a lot of streamers these days, we will start a new stream. So don't think that we just left randomly. We will start the stream all over again. Well, not all over again, not from the very beginning. But a new window will appear. So just go to my main channel page and you will see the continuation stream. We will name it something obvious that you will find your way back. So please don't think that we just magically disappeared. This is the page. It is very similar to the other crystals page that I did way back in the day when I was a total YouTube pup and had no idea how to make professional videos. I made this tutorial on coloring crystals. It was 10 minutes long. It's a cute tutorial. I watched it the other day and it's cute, but my editing skills were not so stellar back then. It's a little bit embarrassing watching it now. Although all the techniques are valid and correct. So if you do want to see how I did these crystals, the link to that show is in the video description. But I think most of you already saw it. It has an obnoxious amount of views on it, and a lot of you are already coloring this page.
Oh, no. Not enough people saw it.
I mean, not enough people saw it. More people should go and watch that.
It's actually a very cool video.
It's okay. I'm a little bit embarrassed by the editing on it.
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Well, I keep it for history. So we will apply similar strategies to these crystals right here. This is a new cluster that I drew for you. And I also brought out this page, which is something that I did with my Featherwolf patrons also several months ago. These are gemstones, which are different. You approach gemstones a little bit differently. However, there are a lot of similarity in the glow effect. So I thought this would be an interesting reference as well. For my actual reference, I picked two photos which I saved on my phone that are my inspiration pieces. And I like this one because it has a color gradient going from green to purple. And then I like this one because it has these amazing neon colors in it, which I think I will try to use in my crystals as well. So I will attempt to create a combination of these two. So something with these crazy neon colors, but with a gradient, with purple on top and green on the bottom. So to start, I will start with white charcoal. I'm working on gray paper and I'm starting with my favorite tool to establish the highlights.
You don't have very much. Is this all you have left?
That is all I have left. Yes, I am quite poor.
Well,
this
and dramatic.
And dramatic, yes. And I just dropped one on the floor, so it's gone forever.
Oh no.
That's it.
This is the last dregs of the white charcoal?
That's the last of it. I don't even know if I'll make it to Mermaid. It's terrifying.
Okay, we need to have a contest to see how we can make white charcoal. If you have ideas on how to make white charcoal, put them in the chat. My idea, I will start by saying my idea. My idea is that we can take black charcoal and spray paint it.
Like actual charcoal from the fireplace?
Yeah, from the fireplace. Oh, we have a fireplace story.
We do. We'll tell it after Matthew's.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready for me to?
Almost. I just want to tell them where I'm putting this white charcoal and why. With crystals, the light direction is a little bit less important than it is with our skin tone coloring and other character coloring, because especially with a crystal cluster where the crystal shards are pointing in all different directions and the light is actually reflecting not only inside each of the shard, but they're all reflecting off of each other. So it's complete and total madness, and it's kind of a free-for-all. So in a way, it seems overwhelming, but it's also liberating because there is no one correct way. Looking at this, you can't possibly tell that this face has to be white, but not that. So you really kind of just have the freedom to place your highlights wherever you want. However, you do want to space them out. So if you have one face that's colored white, the one next to it can't be the same color. That's the only rule. So I will start applying my white highlights and we'll take that call. And I will try looking for that white charcoal on the floor. Nope, gone forever. That's it. It's gone. Oh, something's happening in the chat. Will you tell me what's happening in the chat?
Yeah, Diane said that YouTube gave her a questionnaire asking about something and she had to rate things 1 to 5. And the 1 to 5 corresponded with things like awesome, really good, pretty good, good, not so good, and bad. And I just replied that YouTube's survey should be something like awesome, mostly awesome, pretty awesome, somewhat awesome, and just general run-of-the-mill awesome. And if you're having any other experience, you can just not take our questionnaire. How's that? There's always Vimeo. Okay,
So
so
tempting these
we are going to
days.
call Matthew.
Yes.
Matthew is a colleague of mine at work, and he has graciously offered to join us on the show to answer questions about what the COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 experience is from the perspective of somebody who has experienced it. He did not get tested. He tried to, but was turned away because he didn't meet the minimum standards of criticality. He was just told to go home and isolate himself, which is what he did. But he and I have discussed his symptoms, and he had pretty much all of the symptoms, I think, except for fever. So he has offered to join us on the show. We have some questions for him already, but if you have any questions that you would like to ask in the chat, we will try to get as many of them answered as we can in the next 10 to 14 minutes. So I will do my part to attempt not to cough. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, Skype.
Hello.
Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hey Jenny. Hey Lisa.
Hi.
Hi.
So I have to turn my phone up because I haven't figured out how to hook my phone up to the mixer yet so we can actually get better audio. So I'm just going to hold it next to the microphone and hopefully people can hear. Hey man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good.
That's
It's
good.
a beautiful day. Yeah, I'm good.
Cool,
Wonderful.
cool.
Thank you for joining us.
So glad to be here. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to be, useful and helpful to people.
You are always useful and
Yes.
helpful, Matthew. You're one of my favorite people at work.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
Okay, well, so people are understandably concerned about this, and so we have some questions, and I'm just going to dive in with them, and if you can tell us
Okay.
anything about them. So from the start of feeling symptoms to when you were symptom-free, how much time passed? And during that time, were you extremely ill or just uncomfortable?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say, first of all, I was never extremely ill or just uncomfortable. It's sort of somewhere in between. And it did vary. It lasted about 15 days when the symptoms actually started to when they last ended. Which was quite some time, but it is in the past now. I started to notice it, basically at the end of a workday Friday, and then the
It's
last
convenient.
symptoms were totally gone by the following Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I was sick enough to sort of compromise my work, compromise my routines, but I wasn't sick enough for testing. I wasn't sick enough where my life was ever threatened or was ever an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So I can keep going and elaborate. I'm happy to elaborate.
We'll try and get into it in some of the other questions.
But wait,
but Lisa has a question.
Matthew is in the States, correct?
Matthew is in the States.
Okay.
Yes, Matthew is in the United States.
In the United States. Okay, just because we have people from all over the world.
That's true. Yeah, we have people from Europe, from Australia, we're in South America, so we're cool too.
Correct, yes, we're also cool.
So you say that you first experienced it you first started to notice it on a Friday. How quickly would you say it went between when you first started to notice it to the peak of whatever the experience was? Like, did you feel really bad really quick, or did it take several days?
It's really interesting. I would say it got the peak kind of hit very quickly, and then it just stayed there, and it never got worse, and it didn't get much better. But for me, my symptoms were always pretty mild. Mm-hmm. So that's, I think, important to note. Mm-hmm. I think, a lot of people kind of have this impression, and I definitely had this impression that, if you have COVID, then the symptoms are really bad. What I was reading about was, debilitating shortness of breath. You can't really go from the bed to the bathroom without, sort of losing your breath. Right. All that kind of thing. And that never happened for me. So I started to see those symptoms on Friday, and I'm an anxious person. I thought, I'm just having trouble breathing because I'm really anxious. Mm-hmm. So I figured that's what it was. And then on Saturday, the next day, I was like, okay, this is not that. It's still here. It's a little bit worse. I'm having like body aches and pains. and I did start to have a little bit of a fever. And so I thought, oh man, then I was like, okay, I bet this is COVID. Let me start doing my research and educating myself. And so that was really when I started to take it seriously and to educate myself and learn what I need to do to take care of myself and, talk to the doctor and things like that.
Okay.
That's good advice for people.
So I imagine that if, well, actually I did, there was a day right after I came back from New York. So I slipped out of New York right before all of this hit New York.
So the day was like exactly a week after you got back from New York.
So a week after I got back, it was the Thursday. It was during the Intro to Kubernetes class.
Correct.
So yeah, so I'm doing the Intro to Kubernetes class. Matthew sometimes hosts that class with me. And during the class, I started coughing and I found like I was kind of fuzzy headed, and immediately I was like, oh no. And this almost a feeling of terror overtook me.
Right.
As I thought that I was now, going to go through this experience. When you started to feel symptoms, did you feel that kind of fear, and how did you manage that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you asked. I mean, that was so my experience at first. It was just like my mind was racing, and I went to, the worst case scenarios. And what I found was actually, taking, a step back, getting support. I mean, I ended up doing quite a lot of things that over time managed my fear, kept my stress down, reduced my anxiety, and just put me in a place where I'm actually healing. I'm actually doing the best that I can to recover. And I can elaborate on all those, specific things that I did. But I think one of the main thing that I did was I just, talked with started talking with my doctor, reading from really authoritative sources on what this thing actually looks like. And when I found out, that for most people it's not as bad, I was like, okay, this is just me going into a place of fear, and that's not. So I sort of switched from fear to sort of concern and the actions that I can take from that concern.
Do you think did you feel like educating yourself, like the more you knew about it, the more you understood, and the better you were able to manage your emotions?
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that there were so many like bad stories, like horror stories,
right?
About it, especially early on.
Well, it is bad for some people, and that seems to be. I mean, that's all you hear about is the bad.
Right. Yeah, totally. Like for people, there are some people that it does get bad, and so when I went to like the CDC site and some of the resources that you had pointed me to, and I'm sure you and Lisa have given. Your viewers some really great resources. Like once I started reading those, like, oh wow, like, majority of people have very mild symptoms and they go away and they're fine.
Yeah.
And once I understood that, I was like, okay, I don't need to flip out here.
Right.
Like I just need to take the be prepared, take the measures I need to take, and then let it go.
So you mentioned that there were things that you did that helped you recover. Were those also things that helped you stay positive and upbeat? And if so, can you share some of those strategies with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the specific things that I did for the illness was, I kind of just go down my action plan. I mean, the first thing I did was sort of mitigate my own anxiety around the worst case scenario. And what I had read was that it can get, really bad really quickly. So I was sort of worried about that. Mm-hmm. So one thing I did was I got a really good friend to check in with me twice a day, once in the morning, once at night.
What a great idea.
And that, that was great because it helped me know that there was somebody who was going to know how I was doing.
Wow.
That was awesome. We did that every single day. So if I didn't check in with him, he knew, like, okay, let me see how Matthew is doing. Okay, if he hasn't heard from me, and we sort of drew out that plan, and that felt really good to, okay, I'm not alone in this, So that was one thing. I mean, the obvious thing, I talked to my doctor and got his recommendations, and that was good. And his recommendations were rest, rest, relax. And I actually did that, and that really helped,
I remember also telling you to do that because on like the first week you were showing up to work and I was like, what are you doing?
I remember you telling me
Get
that.
back in bed. And finally you disappeared for a week. And I was really happy.
You're like, why is he still working?
That's true. That is true. So I did compromise. I sort of like measured where I was at, and so I did work a little bit, and I took time off. And one of the things that I found was that my symptoms would get worse if I did overwork. So I often
interesting.
worked half days. I worked half days, or I did not attend meetings, and I stayed in bed. And I took those little compromising measures that just helped me sort of moderate how much energy I was putting out.
Yep.
So I could really just focus on healing.
Okay.
And that helped.
I love that you made an action plan, man. That's so you.
Yeah.
Like, here are the steps I'm going to take to solve this project.
I did. It really helped. There were quite a few things, it's surprising. But it did. It helped take my mind off of powerlessness and instead made me feel a little more empowered.
That's great. What would you describe as the differences between what you experienced with COVID and what you experience if you just had the normal flu?
Yeah, my experience of the flu was really different. So for COVID, for a flu, like my experience with the flu is, body aches and pains. I'm in bed 15 hours a day. I have cold sweats, chills.
Yeah.
It could be cold, in my house, but I'm burning up. I usually have a really bad fever, nausea, diarrhea, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have any of that for this. I had the shortness of breath was the main thing. So shortness of breath. I did have some aches and pains. I had a very, very low fever. It never broke 100. And I had an intermittent cough, but it was not very persistent. So I think that helped me see that my symptoms were pretty mild. I didn't have any nose stuff. My nose wasn't stuffed up. No nausea, no diarrhea, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, it was really different from the flu.
Yeah. One of the questions that we got was, how many days after you are symptom-free are you allowed outside again? Does that...
The quarantine that your doctor recommended.
The quarantine or the self-isolation. There's another question about, did you self-isolate and for how long? So maybe talk about that.
Yeah. I self-isolated basically throughout the time that I had the symptoms. And I had symptoms for 15 days. So honestly, just being alone at home was the hardest part. Mm-hmm. Which is really just, it kind of just puts it in perspective because that was really more of an inconvenience than it was like anything life-threatening. Mm-hmm. And knowing it's just an inconvenience means, okay, I can get through it and this too shall pass.
Nice.
So, so there was that. I did continue my quarantine 3 days after I was asymptomatic. Mm-hmm. Just as, my doctor basically said to do that. Mm-hmm. So I did it. And, I continue to social distance. I continue to use a mask, but I can go outside and, I feel good now. Well,
that was going to be the next question is, how do you feel now?
Oh, I feel really good.
You sound really good. You sound really positive and upbeat. It's wonderful.
I feel positive, and I think it's important. It's important to remember that it's okay to be positive.
Yes.
It's okay, to feel healthy and to be healthy.
Yeah.
So.
Cool, man. Well,
amazing.
Those are all the questions that I have. But I like to end these calls by giving you the opportunity. If there's anything that you want to share that didn't come up as part of a question, if there's anything you want to tell anybody else, and if not, that's cool too, and we can just wrap up.
Oh, sure. I think the one thing I would end with is just like, besides the fear, and once I got through the fear, the other thing that I noticed came up for me was shame. Like shame that I did something wrong, I got sick, oh, now I'm a sick person, people are going to see me in this stigmatized way. And, getting through that and actually seeing the daily support of friends and that people cared and just being willing to check in with them and just proactively say, hey, everybody, I'm okay. My symptoms haven't changed. I'm playing a video game. It's all good. Like saying that each day just helped normalize and remember, like, I'm still part of the human race. I'm still part of a family. I'm still part of a community. I still belong. Nice. And that really helped me just like get through it without worrying too much about what would happen. So.
Wow.
That's really good to hear.
I can't think of a better way to close, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, wait, hold on. There's one more question that just
In the chat?
crept in. One of the viewers wants to know, did your doctor say that you could not get it again now that you are well?
My doctor didn't say that, and I've read different things here and there that there's just not enough information about whether people, there's kind of contradictory information. So my attitude so far has been just to continue to be, cautious, without being sort of paralyzingly paranoid. Just take the precautions I need to for now, and time will tell. So
yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us. This was fantastic, and I'll see you at work tomorrow.
All right.
All right. Have a good night, Matt. Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was awesome.
Wow.
He sounded amazing.
Yeah.
There was just so positive, so happy. Very interesting points as well. I see a lot of people on Facebook who are suspecting symptoms.
Yep.
And a lot of the posts where people are saying, oh, I'm finding it difficult to breathe today, every single post has the words, I'm sorry in them. I am so sorry.
The comment at the end about shame, I think, is really poignant.
Yes.
So to finish my story, when I finished that class and I came out and I was like, oh no, like I have this thing. It was right at the beginning of it. I'd been back, it was like the first week of March.
A week, yeah.
It was the first week of March. And I came in and I told Lisa, and it turned out that it was because the workers were outside my window painting with an air compressor, and our evaporative cooler system had been sucking the paint fumes into the house. And that's why I was coughing, and that's why I was fuzzy-headed, and I was in the middle of the class. I had no idea. So I had like a scratchy throat, and I had all the stuff that you would expect from huffing paint fumes. But we monitored that, and
it was only an hour later that I was like, hey, could it have been the paint fumes?
But we like monitored my temperature, and after 24 hours, Lisa said, okay, you're fine.
You've been stamped.
Yeah, you've been stamped. But I also felt like I was a bad person. Like if I had this thing, it was because I did something wrong, or
and it's somehow different from a regular sickness. Like when we get the flu, we don't feel this way. We're like, oh, I have the flu, whatever. I'm just gonna go sit in bed and play video games for a week. But you don't apologize to your family members for it, really. It's like I have the flu, but this is different.
But it doesn't have to be different.
It doesn't have to be.
It is being presented as this
stigma,
this ginormous thing, but absolutely it is not a stigma.
And it's nobody's fault. It can happen to anyone.
We can do the things that we need to do. We can do everything that we can do to avoid it. We can wash our hands, we can wear a mask, and we could still get it somehow.
Just because you got it doesn't mean that you were careless.
There's no reason. There's no reason to apologize for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very, very good advice.
It's amazing. I'm just taken aback. Yeah,
me as well. I'm speechless.
It was such an important thing to say.
Yeah, incredible. But on the side note, that day that tech support is telling you about is actually the reason that this stream exists. Because
I didn't know that.
You did not know that. This is news to you as well. That day, I was very upset. Because I was drawing. I was here in the studio with my drawing board. I was coloring something. And he had a meeting, and he comes in after a meeting, and he just stands in the doorway, and he goes, I have bad news.
Oh, I think we have a problem.
Oh, yeah. I think we have a problem.
I
don't feel well. And like this deathly face. And I just totally broke down. I was like, that's it. It's the end. And it's like Matthew said, you assume the worst, your mind goes to the darkest of places, you only think about the worst case scenario and all the tragic cases, not the actual numbers and the actual chances for people of your age group and your health, state your level of how healthy you generally are, like no complications or whatever. You don't think of that. You just think, that's it, this is a death sentence, our life is over. So I was sitting on the floor crying with the dogs trying to calm me down, and I had to sit alone for like an hour and just work through this, because I literally just heard a death sentence for both of us. And then as I was sitting there thinking about it, it occurred to me that there are probably thousands upon thousands of people who feel the same way as I do. So instead of moping around the house and feeling like life is over, I should probably talk to the other people. I have a group of 1,000 people who are just as scared as I am. We should all just talk about it. We should all spend time together and spend positive time together and do something to cheer you guys up, to cheer me up, to just be human and be social, instead of everyone going into themselves and being in the lonely, scary place. Because that is the loneliest and the scariest place, is when you're alone with your thoughts. You go to the worst possible place. So to avoid that, I've created this environment for us. And then he turned out to be fine. It was paint fumes.
And now I have this stupid allergy cough.
And now he has the stupid allergy cough.
Which was bad right before the show, but now it's okay.
Yes, and it's been going on for a month though, so.
And she still checks my temperature.
And I still check his temperature.
And it's funny because sometimes it's way lower than it should be.
Yeah, and that makes me very happy. I'm like, oh, 35 Celsius, wonderful. Very healthy, like a corpse. So how are people doing in the chat?
During Matthew's call, the chat was silent.
Right,
Except for two
listening.
questions. Everyone was just listening. Yeah, now there's some conversation.
He is such a great guest. I find that like around this time, like enough time with COVID among people has passed that a lot of people are recovering right now, because it seems that the symptoms last for about 2 to 3 weeks.
You know what people are doing right now?
What?
They're clicking the like button. They're clicking the thumbs up button on the video.
Oh my God, I dropped another one. There's only one left. Oh, okay. They're clicking the like button.
They're clicking the thumbs up button. I just did it.
Thank you so much. I know that this topic is difficult for people, and a lot of viewers don't want to hear about COVID. So just because it's a difficult topic for you, I thank you for not clicking the thumbs down button, because that hurts my channel. It doesn't tell YouTube that you didn't like the topic. It tells YouTube that I'm not a good enough streamer, and that's probably not what you want to tell YouTube. So if you feel the urge to press the thumbs down button, press it twice.
Press it twice. It's the best way to do it.
Get it out of your system.
YouTube understands when you press it twice.
I've actually done that. I was on somebody's stream, somebody who I like, and like a streamer that I watch, and I was mad at that person during that time for the topic of the stream that they selected, and just the general mood that they set for the stream. Like, this isn't what I expected from the show. Why is this so depressing today? But I couldn't click the dislike button because I like this person. This is somebody that I follow and subscribe to and support their channel. So I clicked the dislike button and I looked at it like 10 seconds and then clicked it again. And I'm like, I feel so much better. Like, I did it for myself, but I didn't hurt their channel. And it was a good thing to do. It was important. And actually, I see some of the dislikes disappear off some of my videos sometimes.
Nice. I think when you get enough of them, they roll over the other side.
Oh! I think sometimes people actually press them on accident.
Probably.
One time I pressed the dislike button on my own video.
Well, that's...
Yeah, exactly. I
cool.
was looking at it and I'm like, why is it blue? Oh, because I clicked on it. All right, so back here at the coloring station, I've applied, I think enough
what's
white.
crazy, from this angle, I can't see any of the white.
Oh, because it's reflecting.
Because it's reflecting. It looks like you haven't done anything. But then I just looked at the stream and it's all like super glowy.
Yes, you have to look at it straight on.
Wow. Wow.
It looks like crystals, right?
It totally looks like crystals. You are amazing.
Thank you. Click that like button and subscribe.
There you go. That's what we like to see. Thank you, Tiffany.
Nice. Thank you, Tiffany. And nice to see you here tonight. I saw you catching up on my videos today. Thank you very much. All right, so about the white, as you can see, I've been applying it kind of randomly, but also systematically. There is madness to this logic.
There's madness to my method.
There's madness to my logic. There's logic to my madness. You can see that it's like when you look at the night sky and you see that the stars are all spread out kind of randomly, but they're like reliably random. You don't really see 16 stars in one cluster really tightly packed against each other, or like 60 stars in this one part of the sky and then like 2 over here. It's like nicely, generously spread out over the sky, like somebody spilled a whole bunch of stars. It's the same thing here with these glow effects. You have to kind of gauge on your own where it makes sense. And like I said, the way that you create the reflective illusion is, for instance, if we take this face right here, and I started with the white glow, the faces next to it won't have it. That shows you that it's 3-dimensional, and it's the flat faces catch the light, and the other ones will reveal the actual true color of the crystal. How are we on time?
We're over time. I haven't been saying anything because I didn't think you'd colored anything yet. It's like we're gonna have to sit here for another half hour because she was listening to Matthew and she didn't color.
So I think this is a good place to start because we've come to a stopping point with the white, and tomorrow we'll continue with purple. And purple. And tomorrow we have another special guest who will join us.
More guests.
More guests who will speak to us specifically about crystals. JoBeth, who is also a YouTuber and a colorist and an artist and just an amazing, amazing person who's very creative and talented and makes incredible things with her hands. She makes journals and bound leather books and junk journals and all sorts of wonderful vintage looking things that she makes on her channels. She's also very much into crystals, and she knows a lot about them and the healing power of the various different crystals. I honestly have no idea what she will talk about because my knowledge of crystals is limited to how to draw them and color them. And I know that they're pretty and they're pretty to look at. And I know the various types of crystals and gemstones because I used to work in the jewelry field. So I did learn all of them. But I don't know the healing spiritual part of it. And JoBeth will talk to us about that. So that will be a very nice, relaxing, friendly way to end the week. And of course, we'll make these crystals. We'll start making them purple. Purple. So I think on that note, if no one has any questions for me or for tech support or for Matthew.
I have a song.
A song.
Can I sing my song?
Yeah, of course. You're always welcome to sing.
This song is an earworm.
Oh, I love earworms. Is it the little shark thing?
No, it's the one I sang for you earlier.
The baby shark.
No, it's not Baby Shark. Baby Shark, do, do. No. Okay, ready? I don't remember all the words exactly.
Oh,
but
I know what
you know
you're
this one?
saying. Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if this will make sense, but calamine, calamine, calamine lotion, calamine, calamine lotion. Ooh, I got my calamine lotion. You want to sing your part?
No.
Ooh, she's got my calamine lotion. Psst, go the bugs when you hit 'em with the bug spray. Say it. Psst, go the bugs when you hit 'em with the bug spray. Psst, 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 psst.
Yay!
There you
I
go.
like when you
Thank
say.
you, church camp. All of you will still be singing that song in your heads tomorrow. I guarantee it.
And the
Calamine,
little
calamine,
shark.
calamine lotion. Baby shark, baby shark, baby. That doesn't really work.
No.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful day. Don't lick
Crystals.
crystals.
Don't lick crystals.
Don't lick them.
You don't know where they've been. Bye.